Hi, welcome to this week's Fundraising Friday. This week, we're talking about the different types of funds that you can raise for your organization and or the way to classify those funds once you receive them. Basically, there's four. There's unrestricted, restricted, capital, and endowment. Let's look at each of those for just a minute. Unrestricted gifts are also called operating funds, and those are gifts that have no restriction on them. As long as you are using them for your organization and your mission, you can use them to pay for anything you want. It can pay the light bill, it can pay staff salaries, it can pay for insurance, it can pay for programming, it can pay for your building, anything you want. As you might guess, most organizations and most accountants prefer to have unrestricted gifts because it gives you the most latitude. Restricted funds, on the other hand, are restricted for a particular purpose, and that purpose depends upon the restrictions that the donors put on them. It might be somebody who you do an appeal and you ask for funding for a particular program. The gifts that come in for that should pay for that program. A lot of grants come with restrictions because you ask for a particular program or particular purpose, and the purpose then becomes the restriction on it. Most funders like to restrict their gifts. And so you want to try and ask for money that will offset your budget, which in essence helps make it act like an unrestricted dollar. Capital funding, on the other hand, is something that you need one time. It tends to be things for to build a building, to renovate a building. It can be to buy equipment. Once you build that building, you don't need another one. Once you renovate a space, you don't need to renovate it again. Once you buy a computer, you don't need to buy another one. That's kind of the way to think about capital. It's a one-time investment in your organization. Some funders like to fund capital, others don't. You need to look and see what their restrictions are or talk to your individual donors to see if they're interested in capital. The last type is endowment. An endowment is your savings account, or more accurately, your investment account. And so a gift made to your endowment goes into your investments, and generally you get to spend about 5% of it, but it's there in perpetuity. So it's there forever. Very few foundations and corporations will make an endowment gift. Individuals tend to run hot and cold. Some love to make endowment gifts because it does support your organization in perpetuity. Others don't because you only get the value of part of that gift and they want to help you today. Oftentimes we see that plan gifts, bequests, those types of gifts get put into an endowment because there's really no way to budget or to plan for those because they tend to mature when the donor passes away. That's this week's Fundraising Friday. Thanks. Have a great weekend.